All right, there we go. There we go. There we go. Can you hear me? All right. I have no idea why I'm even coming on tonight, but oh, missing. You know, this is a good reason then. Let me get rid of my name. I don't know why it's on there. I keep forgetting that part. There's all these little buttons and switches I gotta find. Hold on. Wait, no banners. Wait, is that it? Huh? Oh, there we go. Let me get rid of that. All right, cool. So I got rid of that, and I got to see it over here. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. I know I got it melted back because you know what? I was playing with this camera I bought a while ago. Where was it? Right here. Hold on. And I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? And it was like a really nice 4K. I'm only doing it in 1080. I bought it about, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago. And it's just giving me a hard time. You know, I got to settle these different settings and parameters. Otherwise, I use the computer. I'm going to go take this back. I bought the 2-year warranty at Micro Center. And I spent about an hour looking at different ones. And I'm thinking, oh, maybe this will work. Oh, maybe this will work, right? And that's not exactly what happened. So I don't know if my voice is loud enough. Let me see. Yeah, I didn't want to check. How you doing, Tina? How's my boy Phil? Is he okay? Is he all right? So it's just gonna be a couple of us because I didn't whatever. And I think it goes public for a minute and then I'll put it private later. Um, it's like my secret little thing. I usually put a little X there, don't I? But I didn't tonight because I wasn't even sure I was going to come on. You know what I bought yesterday at the gym? And I bought the powder when I used to make my smoothies, my fruit smoothies. I never did it with my peanut butter chocolate ones, but I did it with anyone taking that back. So I hope this light works. This lighting and everything sets up uh, pretty good. I don't like how it's blending and blurring. Otherwise, real quick, I'll show you. And they have all these new buttons on here since I haven't been using it. You know how they change all the buttons on apps? Okay, so let's see, virtual. Virtual thing here. Okay. So if I go here, this is what you're going to see. Pretty exciting, huh? So I don't know if you like that or you like my background. Here, I'll do Detroit. How about that? Where's Detroit at? Okay, there it is. There you go. So we'll do that one. A little festive for the weekend, July. Glad you are still here. All right, well, that makes a couple of us, I guess. My Wi-Fi, I pay a lot of money for this stupid thing. And it looks like it's got a really low signal. I think it's because everybody's using my Wi-Fi right now. But anyway, so hopefully it doesn't go too haywire. Let me do a couple other things here. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Make my signal a little bit stronger, I hope. All right. So anyway, we're going to do that. I look thin. Are you just saying that because I posted I weigh 202 pounds? I know. I actually, um, I actually started off this year at 225 pounds. Now I was working out and I was eating pretty good. That's why I was going to show you this next. I bought this the other day, beetroot. Right, that's the stuff my gym sells. Powerhouse, the gym I normally go to, but I don't go as much because I'm so far away. Anyway, sorry about the green screen effect because I don't have my green screen up. Because I have this giant green screen that opens up, but it only covers a small portion. That kind of sucks. That's why I wanted a studio. All right. But that's a whole different story. I won't get into that right now. It's still there, but I'm trying a couple other avenues because what's happened, just to give you an idea, part of the reason is that they've been negotiating the building where I'm at. I think they're doing some kind of really multi-million-dollar deal with Amazon to use the space I'm in. And I thought, what can I say? You know, so I can't really say a whole lot. But anyway, and they were being kind of pro bono with me on that. Things happen, life goes on, right? Trust me, if anybody has got it, one of the reasons, and I know that there's a lot of people probably, well, it's like anybody, everybody's going to get haters and supporters, no matter what you say, think, or do. And then there's going to be people that are just going to totally vilify you, right? All right. Well, for the record, I've always tried to do everything to the best of my ability, to the best of my income or whatever I can afford to do. And but you know what? I get messages like the other day when I posted something. Now I know that no matter what I put and how I put it, and I don't use AI. I use AI for a lot of things, but I don't use it to write a lyric in my songs, and I don't write it to make any comments on my posts. My brain functions a little bit more than that. So if you don't, and I purposely leave out commas and spaces, like I'm doing it different. For some reason, it was the way I was reading it, like one sentence at a time. This way, if somebody reads it, it's not so clustered and it's easier to read, especially when you don't want to read somebody's stuff. It's like, do I really want to read it? It's like watching a movie that you didn't want to watch. And then like 20 minutes in, right when you think you're going to turn it to that one movie you wanted to watch, something grabs you. The good guy gets killed or his girlfriend gets, abducted or something. And then now you're stuck watching 3 more hours of the damn movie. Well, when I posted the other day, here's where I was going with this. And I post about like weight loss. And I know that I have a lot of friends that out there from everywhere that no matter how much they work out or don't or eat right or don't, everybody's got that, right? And I get it. And I'm putting myself out there on the chopping block. Like me, I used to, be a lot, thin. We all did, right? And when I put on all that weight from, drinking during COVID, and I think people get, oh man, I drink all the time and I'm not an alcoholic. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. Drink every day, drink twice a day, drink in the morning. I don't care. I brush your teeth with it. But, it's also, I have a lot of people that call me up that, God, did you hear about so-and-so? Like I got a friend right now who's got who had a tracheotomy. He's got cancer in the back and throat, and he's been in a wheelchair for the last several months, or actually several years. He actually is a good friend of mine. I've known for a long time. And, and it doesn't look good for him. I don't want to get in all that. And he's on my Facebook. He's on my Instagram. And that's a lot of people. So, I get into it because I know people will tell me, all kinds of reasons. I'm like, I'm not a doctor, but I know what worked for me. And I'm around a lot of people my age, which is older. And I have a lot of young people that come up to me all the time, everywhere I'm at, whether I'm, spinning a party and I feel like, man, I hope I don't look like somebody's dad. And, and they think I'm younger. Well, the reason I'm younger looking, it wasn't because of my heritage or anything like that. I mean, maybe, I don't know, but it was because I took care of myself. In fact, my parents got into vitamins years after, I did years ago, many years ago, like probably 30 plus years ago. They saw me taking vitamins. Teachers in high school would watch me take vitamins. And, they thought I was taking drugs because I went from being real tired to having all this energy, and they saw these pills and bottles and everything in my locker. They didn't know what the hell, right? And people would make fun of me. They go, that shit don't work. Well, here I am, 50 years later going, well, I guess it kept me going a little bit, but it's not the magic cure to everything. There's a pill and all that doesn't fix everything. You got to do things with it. And I don't care what people really do, except when it comes time when they go, God, I have this, and this. What can I do? Chris, what can I do? So when I posted that, believe it or not, I had 5 different people, my age, give or take. I don't really know, but and they said, God, I lost 100 pounds in the last year. I lost 38 pounds in the last 6 months or whatever it was, They're telling me all these stories. I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting that. It's a true story. In fact, every single one of them has been following me on here. And most of these people I didn't meet at all until after Dante died, a year or 2 years later. Some of these people I've only met once or twice physically, in person. Most of my closest friends that I've lived in this area where I'm at in Waterford, which is near Pontiac and north of Detroit, 20 something, almost 30 miles. I don't see most of the friends I've had. I went to school with, I worked with for years, everything. The teen club, the nightclub. I haven't seen some of these people in over 30 years, most of them. In fact, some of them I saw for the first time, again, when my son passed away. And, so when I put some of that stuff out there, it's like, and I'm not trying to be a hero. I'm not a hero or anything like that. So let me just start prefacing that. But when you help somebody, when you see somebody that rescued 3 people and then died, like in Texas. Real strapping guy, and he was brave, and he went and saved two or three people, drowning, and then he ended up drowning himself. Um, Sometimes you put yourself out there, and it doesn't have to be that dramatic and that drastic, and it still affects me when I see people in children dying or getting hurt or whatever. It just does. But and I know, and we're not all wired the same. We're not wired the same. Some of us are just like, oh no, I don't want to buy Girl Scout cookies. No, I don't want to hand that homeless person the quarters that are stuck in my cup holder where I put my Starbucks. And I'm one of those people that do. I'm like, hold on, I don't care if it's traffic. Like, shit. And there's once in a blue moon where I can't. It's like, God, there's too much. I don't want the guy to get killed or that woman, to get run over by a truck because I'm trying to hand her $2. Whatever. It ain't worth it. But the thing is when I'm on here, I try to do that. And I stopped doing it because I was doing it 2, 3 times, 4 times a week when my son died. I don't know why I did it. I didn't want to do it. It kept me from being depressed. It kept me from, blowing up my house or something. I don't know. My ex-wife hears that. Oh, he's got suicidal ideations. Like, oh, crazy person. I only get that when I look at you. I don't, and thank God for her boyfriend. Thank God for desperate guys. But anyway, yeah, Jeff, I'm talking about you. Sorry, man. If I had that kind of money in that house, she wouldn't look like that. But anyway, did I say that all? Yes, I did. So sometimes I'm going to be an ass, but you know what? I'm trying to always help people at the same time. And you know what? Sometimes you get that one shot, that one chance to help somebody even for 2 minutes. If you watch Mission Impossible, the cool thing they kept saying in the movie from beginning to end, and Ving Rhames, who was in the movie, the whole thing, all the series of Mission Impossible from beginning to end. I won't give away the ending. But they keep saying, we're helping. We're always, I don't know. I'm paraphrasing, but they kept saying, we help people that we're never going to meet. We help people like, when you save the world, you're helping people you're never going to meet, right? It's like when you're in concert and you're famous, right? Morgan Wallen, Aerosmith, Kiss, whoever, past, present, famous people, Olivia Rodrigo, Ed Sheeran, Wu-Tang Clan, everybody. It's like, we love you, right? And they have haters too, by the way. Taylor Swift, she's ugly, and he's this and he's that. You can't win, right? Look at that couple yesterday, or was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Totally sidetracking here, but there was a couple. This guy, rich executive, some white guy, he's like, and he's at the Coldplay concert. Chris Martin, they have this kissing cam like they have at the baseball games, like catching couples together. And they caught this couple, this executive of this company with his HR, this female person that works underneath him. And he's married. He's got kids, I guess, the whole shebang. And he's at this concert, groping all over her, and she's all happy, and they got busted. And then it's all over there. It's killed the Wi-Fi. Hey, Keith, how you doing, brother? And so, and here I am, I'm thinking to myself, and this makes me sound like an asshole. It just does. Can I swear? And it makes me sound arrogant, conceited, obnoxious. Even if I'm not trying to, somebody's like, I hate that guy. Let me click him off. I hate him. I went to school with him. I hate him. What do you do? Nothing. I just don't like the way he looks. Look at the part in his hair, And, but, and that's okay, man. You know what? If I ever get a death threat, you better just come to the house and just, at least look at me, right? Because, the world's gotten nuts that way. I mean, I don't hate you. I don't hate nobody. I mean, maybe a couple people, but I don't do anything. I know where they live. Ain't that far. If I could do that. Nah, we ain't doing that. So what makes me feel good, what kept me on here after my son died, and, and I've had a lot of people I loved die before him, after him. But there's that one person that will always affect you for the rest of your life. And it makes you want to just roll away, die like I wanted to. And, and helping people was the coolest thing for me. Did I get paid for it? No. Did I become more popular for it? No. But you know what? And I've said this, and I know you guys heard it so many times, so I'm not going to stay on this too long. I just wanted to talk. I just wanted to have fun tonight because I haven't been around anyway. It's Friday night. I live on one of the nicest, most expensive lakes in Oakland County, Michigan, which is in the top 5 counties in the most popular, richest country in the world. It's true, Oakland County. Look it up. Google it. In fact, let me look it up. just to tell you where I'm at. Let me see. Hey Siri, what is the rich? Wait, hold on. Let me say it again. Wait, let me just here. In fact, you guys AI it if you want. I don't care. Is Oakland? It's stupid. I don't even care. The reason I was making a dumb point. See how I went off? And I could be on a lake right now, right? We got a really nice pontoon out there. We live in a bay. It's like a special bay. Even the billionaire houses that are on this lake don't have what we have. We got privacy. We got our own bay that goes into the lake, but we don't have all that heavy traffic because you can't wake here. That means you can't speed. You got to go real slow. But you can swim in it. You can fish in it. We have people fishing all the time, even in the winter out there on the ice, in rowboats, fathers and sons, whatever. Okay. But I'm by myself. It's Friday night, middle of July, gorgeous day. I hate when it's 85 or 90 and humid. I hate it. I do. But, I'll deal with it. Today was 75, 76, cool breeze, no humidity at all. I had my windows down the whole time. This is great. By myself in parking lots. That's what I did. I'm thinking about my music. I'm thinking about what I'm going to do. I'm thinking about the people I was hoping to do stuff with here in Detroit. I'm thinking about new ideas. I spent probably 90% of it depressed, just totally depressed. Like, God, this freaking sucks. When I say these things, it's because I know that there's other people out there, and I'm saying how I feel in real time, which is probably uncommon, probably ludicrous. Somebody stole that in ludicrous, get it? But can't you put it in the background? Put what in the background? I'm not sure I forgot what I said. So I'm going to jump off what I just said for a second. I heard 4th of July, there were 200 boats out there. Are you referring to my lake, Cass Lake, and 6 sheriff boats and 7 cop cars by Sylvan Lake condos. At least you have safety out there. Oh, put the graph of the background. What graph? I don't know what background you're talking about. But anyway, I'm sure you'll fill me in. But tonight is like a connector night for me, for a couple people out there that, that are too busy, too tired, have other obligations where they can't go to a barbecue, fire pit, party, pool, beach, lake, whatever. Or, just got back, whatever. Because I used to have people come on after they got back from dinner, a show, the club, especially when COVID was starting to slow down a little bit. Remember that? And I was getting off at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday in the basement of that house a couple of years ago I lived in. And people would just be jumping on it like 2:30. I'm like, and I'm there till 3:30 in the morning. But it was fun. And, most people, I guess, when you get to a particular age, 55 or and older, you're getting a senior citizen discount, your ARP, perks. And you're talking about, remember that day when we used to do those things? And, here I'm doing, 20-year-old technology with trying to reach out to people and connect with a couple people that have reached out to me. And I got a lot of messages from that one thing. I mean, not as much as I used to get, for sure, but more than normal in the last several weeks or so, or even a few months. And, there are people that somehow transform. So it is a responsibility to, always try to perk people up. You don't have to be a doctor. You don't have to be in, fitness. You just have to always be able to, even in your worst time, try to cheer people up. I don't know. The Tigers have been doing really good. I try to post. I have these different pages, and somebody said something to me today. And because I was on a musical Zoom, where I have friends from all over the United States and around the world. And they even kind of, inject a little bit of politics and whatnot. But, we are in different time zones, and we're, connecting, and we've become friends over the last 2-3 years. And I get to see their faces because, Zoom, unlike here where I could bring you on, but most people don't want to come on. And, it's one of those things where I go, well, I guess I'm going to just be the bus driver and sing songs or, tell stories or whatever I got to do. But you know what, the thing for a lot of people out there is that as time goes on, We think, you know, I think we think that life just automatically gets better. And for some people, they think it automatically gets worse. I get it. I get both of those. And then there's people that do the same thing, like today, Friday, or no, even Monday on this lake. I'm driving by those Sylvan condos you're talking about because it's like this windy road. It's like 35 miles an hour. And there was people out there like it was the 4th of July on Monday. Same thing with today, Friday. This ain't a holiday weekend, but there was a lot of mostly pontoons and people playing their music and, dancing in the water or doing whatever. And, it's like you got to find your things that you do week after week, season after season to keep you going in this life. But, I think that for me, I'm trying to, instead of being on that boat and, because people ask me like, why, how come you don't go on your thing? How come you don't that? It's because I'm trying to figure out a way to, I'm obsessed with trying not just to survive and make more money. And I do work and I do make money, but I want to take whatever I can to make whatever I leave here, whenever, as I get older, it became kind of a lifetime obligation. Like maybe a doctor or somebody belongs to a particular organization to help people. And I'm thinking, okay, I got one for Detroit. I got one for Nashville. I got one for the dance community because I was a DJ for so long. I got one for unique people. And it's become that. And, and I thought, God, maybe I should just quit this stuff. But then when I get these messages of a post, because I take a lot of my posts down now. I really do. Sometimes I'll leave it public, then I'll do it private, and then I'll just take it completely off. And go, maybe that was a little too much. Maybe that might have too much in there that might affect somebody, and I'm not sure, but I think we're in this cataclysm of social media now where we see things and we want to take sides. We want to fight. We want to use AI. We want to use Siri and Alexa. And I've said this many times before, where we think we're smarter and we want to just, and I don't want to be part of that. I don't, and maybe that turns people off, but it also turns a few people on to the point of, hey, you know what? I want to do something better with my life. And I thought I was too old, or I thought I was too out of shape, or I thought I didn't have enough money, or I thought this. You're looking for reasons, and some of them are valid reasons. This kid that I know, when I call him kid, he's in his 50s now, and he's married. He's always been handicapped. His wife isn't. She takes care of him. Well, now he's, like I told you, in fact, he has the same name as me. And I talked to a guy at the gym last night that knows him, and they had to put a trachea in his throat because he had a big lump of cancer. And he had one on the back of his neck. And, he's already wheelchair bound. He's already had a life. He lost a brother to cancer a few months back, younger than him. And, the one thing that stuck out with me, I interviewed him one time years ago on here. And I told him he was my hero. And I always picked on him in public when, he came to the club. And he was blatantly handicapped. Like you could definitely see that, but I would always pick on him on the microphone and this because I wanted him to feel normal. Some people going, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" But he loved it because it gave him attention, and he loved that attention. And everyone thought, "Oh my God, you're nuts," to me. And he came to Dante's funeral. He was there all day. He got on a bus in his wheelchair that he had to drive with a little joystick. He did. You'll see him doing like 30 miles an hour in his wheelchair up and down, like sidewalks that are broken and missing pieces, like a 4-wheeler or something. He's crazy. But anyway, but what he told me, what Dave, my buddy Dave, told me yesterday, who's also on here. He said, and he's a couple years older than me. He goes, Chris is, even though he can't talk and he has to touch. Even though he has to touch with his finger what he's trying to say to you now, because Chris loves to talks like I do, even handicapped, or whatever you want to call it. I hate to call him handicapped because, he always found his way down to the Tigers games, the Lions games, the Grand Prix every single day. It's crazy. He's got more energy than anybody I know. And, now he's got to touch that. And, to tell people, and Dave said to me, but he's in great spirits about it. He's in great spirits, meaning he doesn't want anybody to come up there and feel sorry for him. you know. And I have people around me that always feel, always they're such drama queens. And I get it, I get it, but this guy's always been handicapped. He's had millions of surgeries since before I even met him. And I met him over 30 years ago. And he would find a way to climb stairs. He found a way to drive a car. When I saw him driving a car one time down I-75 doing like 70 miles an hour, and he's using controls. I'm like, oh hell no. It's like, it's like blindfolding yourself and driving a spaceship. I mean, I don't know how he did it, but he did it. He found a way. And he was just, and here he is. I don't know what's going to happen to this guy, but he's probably one of the strongest people I ever met. He's only like 5'6", if he was standing totally erect, 5'7", I don't know. But he never, ever lets that, he never uses that for pity or sympathy. Never, 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 never. And even if tomorrow doesn't come for him. And that happened last year when the guy at the gym who I saw, who I've known forever, and he knew my kids, he knew Sabrina, Dante, Sophia, and he worked as the head guy at the gym I've been to for this gym, and he had cancer. And when I went to go see him, only a mile from my ex-wife's house last year, I thought, he was in such good spirit. He goes, hey, I don't feel sorry. No, don't feel sorry. Because I'm okay. I'm going to be with the Lord. If whatever happens. I'm thinking this guy, the way he was talking, I thought he had another 2 years to live, maybe more. I don't know. And less than 2 weeks later, he was gone, but he knew he wasn't coming back to the gym. He knew he wasn't leaving that hospital. He knew that. Yet he still had that smile on his face. I wish I could have taken a picture, but there's a time and a place when that wasn't. And it's Friday. It's the middle of July. The world's going crazy out there. Weather, we don't know. People have their own opinions. I don't get into it. I don't engage. I'm a smart guy. I read fast. I won't engage you. I've been in enough fights where I was outnumbered 5-1 every day in a nice school in this county. It just, so those fights are done. And then I went to go work at a bar, not 2 miles from here, not even 2 miles from here. And the bouncers were all steroided up, could bench press 800 pounds, it seemed. I'm exaggerating, but pretty close. And you know what? And then they knew I could. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I survived pretty much every fight I was in. But I remember when they wheeled this one guy off in an ambulance, and I thought it killed him. And, but it was all self-defense. And I thought first I was mad. Second, I was, pretty pumped up about it. But I'll tell you what, like an hour later, it hit me. I'm like, God, I felt like crap that I hurt somebody. I'm not a pacifist, but, I used after a while, because he kept coming at me. I think he was drunk and he wouldn't stop. And I said, okay, I got to put a stop to him. And those weren't my exact words. It was just, that's the mode I went into. And they had to sneak me through the place, the bar, out the alley. And I hate this because, cops were looking for me. I'm laughing. I don't know why I'm laughing. It was so stupid. It was ridiculous. But listen, they take these down now. I used to think these would be up here for, as long as Facebook was on. The only reason I thought they would ever disappear was because Facebook might go away. That's just, nothing lasts forever. I just believe that. I live in a neighborhood. I live just south of here, south in a different direction. My school that I went to, where I met a lot of people that I saw the other day, my buddy here, Kiragosian. That's where I met him. That building, that lot has been empty for years. I thought that, big piece of property, beautiful piece of property. Nobody will buy it. The restaurant row, there's no restaurants. The supermarket where I work, the bowling alley, and there's $1 million houses all the way around it, lakes, everything. And nobody, it's weird. It's like a ghost town. It's like infected. It's like a nuclear city, like Chernobyl or something. It's crazy. So my memories are kind of gone except for what's in here. And, I think that when I do that stuff on here and now the videos are disappearing, you know, if you ever get on this thing, whether you know me or not, or you met me or not, you know, I wish I could see your videos, number one. You know, not just your kids and your grandkids and your who people are graduating and, you know, your boats and your trips. I mean, those are nice. That's cool. You know, good for you. But I wish I could hear your story. You know, that's what if I could watch TV, my dad's out there watching movies. He loves watching movies, loves watching movies. In fact, he gets frustrated when there's no good movies on. And we've given him Netflix, Max, Prime. We got to invent places to go. I tried to give him my Disney Plus subscription I got for free somehow a couple weeks ago. That wasn't working. He likes action and, you know, war movies and stuff like that. That's not Disney. But, you know, like me, I would rather watch your story. And, you know, I didn't want to be a podcaster. I didn't want to be an interviewer, but I had fun doing it. And I made a lot of friends because of it. That's why I share Nash Talk all the time for people out there. The misfit story, that's you. That's somebody you know that's trying hard and trying to make it and wanting to, you know, defy the odds. You know, like that Firestone, you know, guy that, you know, invented all these chemicals to make, you know, tires out of rubber and, you know, make the rubber plant where they weren't going to melt in the hot sun and all kinds of stuff. And the chemicals, it cost him all the money he had to do it. Nobody was helping him. And all the chemicals that he used were killing him slowly, but for sure. And then he ended up, you know, having to sell the company. And then I think years later, they sold it back to his family. But he killed himself inside and out to give the world this great invention that everybody uses every freaking day all over the world, you know? And let's see, hold on a second. Give me 1 second here. Hold on. 1 second. Okay, hold on. I got a decent. All right, there we go. All right, 1 more second. I'm just responding to a message here on the screen, private message. Okay. I think I sent you a message. Okay. Let me know if you got it. Whoop. All right. Hold on 1 more second. Okay. Hold on. I apologize. Let me know if you got that. Reload the page. Oh, here we go. Nope. All right. You know what's good about this? My AIs can edit this later. Well, if you got the message, you got it. I did, Vinny. I just sent you a message. Tell me, check your Facebook Messenger. Let me see. What did Tina say? Miss Karagosians. Oh, Miss Karagosians. But he said the younger people are not into diamonds or gold. Their kids did not want to get into the business. So sad. That's a lot of people. You know, their family has this business. My cousins up in Brighton, the Myers, that's a hard business, but they kept it going even after the parents died. They're still doing it out there. I think they're on vacation the month of July all the way through part of August before they come in for the fall season. But yeah, I think that's another thing. I think the work ethic has died for a lot of younger people. It's, you know, and even people that are older, they don't want to have, they don't want to have that workload. You know, they're just not, because, you know, people would work 70, 80 hours a week, 7 days a week. They didn't care. But, you know, I think that, you know, we have this thing now where, and I understand that. I mean, one of the jobs I do is doing everything, anything that comes in my way. If I have to climb a tree to cut down branches or clean a basement or build something from scratch or fix it, you know, I'm doing it. And you know what helps me with that? YouTube. People go, "You're so smart." And I go, "No, YouTube." So, you know, that's what I do. But there's people out there that have got, really good jobs, and, and I see the work ethic. And that's what they really should teach. They should have a tenacious um, class, a tenacity class on how to work harder. And some kids are. This guy that came over to fix some or install something for my mom a couple days ago, young guy, I'd say probably in his early 40s, late 30s, whatever. I don't know. It was hard to tell. He was upside down under the sink, attaching something. But he had his 8-year-old son with him, and I knew he was 8 because that's what he told me. And it was helping. He was going up and down the stairs into the garage, out into the driveway to help his dad get some tools. And I said, "Oh, you helping your dad?" He goes, "Yeah." And he smiled, and know, I'm thinking about my son, and thinking, God, that must be great. One day he'll grow up to be a man, and carry on after you, But it more so was the fact that um, you know, he could see that he loved his dad. He wasn't going, God, I don't want to be a plumber. He was just sitting there watching his dad and thinking, it's a good career. I mean, you're not going to be famous for it, but it's, I mean, a water heater, a toilet, a sink, something, a plumber can come in handy in the middle of the night or whatever. And so I don't think they're ever going to replace. That's one of those jobs I can't even imagine an AI even trying to fix. They'll tell you how to fix it, but I think we still need that human element. And human element means being healthy. Even if you drink a lot of caffeine or eat a lot of sugar or a lot of fried foods, things like that, you got to take your vitamins. You got to take your supplements. Like some people will eat beets, off a salad, which is good. I had the powder, and man, I tell you one thing about the powder. I put just a teaspoon in my smoothie with, strawberries and peaches and bananas and all the supplements. But this would instantly change the color to that bright beet red, right? And you can smell it, but it would also stain everything, your fingers, everything. It's just, it's funny how strong the color of a beet pill, powder, anything. Am I wrong? But it's supposed to be good for you. And actually, it's one of my least favorite things to eat, but I would eat them. Um, I hate vegetables. There's some I just can't stand. Like I hate Brussels sprouts, and I know some people make like this. My ex-wife loved it, and I see people like burning them and whatever. But I try to take as much stuff as possible. It will make you feel better. It'll prolong you. It'll give you the energy that you need to have that work ethic. And it includes even going on vacation or going on a boat, water skiing, walking up and down the beach with somebody, keeping your health, keeping you going. And at the very least, even if you hate what I'm saying, let me get rid of that comment. Sorry about that. Hide current comment. Sorry about that. Let's see. Some people have really good job, but they're miserable too. Yeah. Well, I think, and that's the other thing. I think, when I was a dancer for these popular dance groups, I was making really good money most nights. There was some nights that sucked, but then you're out there and you're putting on your leather, jacket that night after night, and after a while, you can't get it cleaned every night, and it gets kind of rank. And when you're in the back room of a place and it's 100 degrees out, which happens a lot, and not air conditioned in the back, you're thinking this. But when you get out there in front of the audience, and I'm going back years, and it's girls, and they're looking for perfection, and I'm the least thing from it, right? But I did the best I could, hairspray, and we had makeup and our costumes and everything. It was a job. And I looked at the guys going, and some of the guys were better looking than others and better built than others, and some guys we all had our plus and minuses, right? But we looked at it going, this was easy money. People were like jealous of us, right? But I remember taking off our costumes and putting newspaper down on this dirty floor. I'd grab newspapers before I came, and using everything we could, because they didn't have dressing rooms. And I go, man, they have no idea. I said this out loud. I go, they have no idea that this is not a glamour gig. We're sweating back here. We have to pay for our own stuff, our own tanning, our own oil to put on our skin, which was expensive. We had to clean our costumes once a month, which cost a fortune because it was covered in oil and makeup and just sweat mostly. And and after a while, it's like those costumes at any place where they start to have that, that smell, and you got to like put cologne everywhere. But there's no glamour gig. There really is no glamour gig. When you see a famous person singing and tripping on the floor, and you're going, "Oh my God," that's a lot of work to sing, to play. It's work. Every job is work. Anything you're good at is work. Anything you make money with is work. And then dealing with the customer, dealing with, I don't care how much money you make. Your employees will screw it up, and then you lose that employee, or that customer, or you get sued, or you got to deal with something. Man, there's no glamour gig out there. There is no glamour gig out there. Need to go to Big Rock. I used to live right down the street from Big Rock for 12 years in Royal Oak. I lived I could walk to it. I used to work. I knew the people that owned it, the LePages. And we even helped open Got Rocks upstairs. Me and my brother Mike. It was, and I did the video for it. This was, shoot, when was that? Like 15 plus years ago. Well, and everybody wanted to go there. And it was great food, great service, great everything. And then they shut it down. Now I guess they put like some ridiculous amount of money, and the place was already gorgeous. Like $13 million. Is that true? So I guess $13 million ain't a lot anymore. Need to go to the Big Rock. Let me see. Used to go there for lunch all the time. They just reopened. Yeah, I need to go there. They don't open until 4 o'clock. Yeah, that's a lot of restaurants since COVID. I mean, I remember Manjan Lao, where I used to go. They would be open by 11 o'clock, noon for sure, every day. And then when COVID happened, they stopped, and they've never been opened again. And now they open at 4 o'clock. So nobody goes there for lunch anymore. And you would think that a lot of people, because there was a lot of, money people in the area that would have lunches there, and you think it would hurt their income, their overall profit. But I don't know. Vinny, you didn't get a link? I thought I sent you one. I'll try one more time. Otherwise, I won't stay on much longer because it's almost 11 o'clock. I remember I used to stay on, and I would just keep going and going and going. I don't have that in me no more. Let me see this. And if this doesn't work, I don't know. I'll have to try a different way. Okay. I'll just do that, and then hit send. And then that's it. Okay. No, it's not working. I don't know what's going on. All right. Well, sorry about that, Vinny. Maybe next time we'll do it. So there's a lot of places downtown don't even open on Mondays. Yeah. Well, I know that's like hair salons. I think a lot of people are in Chinese restaurants. Used to love music nights. How's Linda doing? She's good. Well, her dad isn't. She lives in Cleveland. Her dad's in the hospital right now. He's 95. And he still has his wits about him. I guess he had like pneumonia a little bit ago, and then he had like a heart attack. So, yeah, so she's dealing with that right now. So, that you don't know how that particular, that's one of those things, right? So, good wishes out to her and her dad. But again, this was only meant from day one, really for a handful of people. I never, I thought it would ever grow to something bigger, even though some people, kind of made it seem like that. And I said, no, you know what? I'm not careful with my words all the time. And even though I don't discuss the things that are most popular to fight about on social media, and I've tried a couple of times, I've invited people, you guys want to talk about it? Come on here. But most people aren't that brave. And I say that nicely. I think it's easier to just type words, but I think most people are afraid of the camera for whatever reasons. I have no idea. But, I think that term, say it to my face, that would be a good show, wouldn't it, Vinny? Say it to my face. Or a song, say it to my face. But, then that sounds antagonistic or, whatever. Ain't being violent. No, not being violent. But it's nice to, when you call out somebody, it's good to not hide behind a keyboard. Because you know what then people do? They click on your name, and then they see that you're like a assistant manager of a shoe store or something, and then they rip on you, or they what you look like, or what you dress like, or who you're married to, or it's like people will find things to throw back at you, So I'm an easy target. I'd like to say what you want. Come on here, throw rocks at me. For $1, you can throw a rock at me. All right. It's like every day I'd have 100 people throwing a rock at me. Probably most of the people I know. But yeah. So and Tina, thank you for that. I saw your comment just now. I never got to talk. Let's see. Phil would love to, but we are in a lawsuit with no way. Phil would love to. Okay. I'm trying to think. What were you referring to on that? Sorry, I'm really being. Let me see. I'm not sure. Hold on. I'm gonna try one more thing. Maybe hold on one second. Sorry. There's nobody even watching right now anyway, so it's just a couple of us here. I'm just, I bought a year worth of service last year. I think I've said this before. But wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Yeah, now it's being stubborn. Okay. That's weird. I'm trying to send a link to you, Vinny. I'm trying to figure out a way to do this, but it won't let me do it now. Hold on one second. Let me try that. Invite guest. All right, copy that. All right, let me try this. I'm gonna try one more time here. See, I'm not a quitter. I got to do this stuff. All right, so then I come over here. So you guys don't see what I have to do behind the scenes. You guys think this is easy. It's not easy. It's a pain in my butt. It always was. That's the one thing. You guys have no idea. I need like a whole crew, but I don't know. I don't have any friends. So hold on. It's funny when you have no friends, you got to do everything by yourself. All right. I tried something. I found a workaround. Maybe that'll help. And but how's everybody else doing? Keith, are you still there, man? How's Georgia? How's the weather down there? In fact, let me check. I just want to. I love to find. I always like to know what people's weather is. Let's see. Wait. I was away from the. Let's see. Oh, I got it. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's nice when I post things for other people out of Detroit, out of Nashville, around the world on my stuff. It's fun. I'm bragging about it right now. I'm bragging because it's like, it makes me feel good that I can post something to a community that sees it and knows that it's relevant to what they're doing. That's kind of my new hobby. You know what I mean? It's I shouldn't say new. I've been doing it for a few years, but I think that. Oh, is he on? All right, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna roll the dice here. I'm gonna roll the dice, and I can mute him if he interrupts me. This is cool. Hold on. Are you ready? Let's see. I can mute you too. Let's see. Say something. Go ahead. You're on. You can talk.
I was gonna just say nothing. I heard you say you could mute me anytime I interrupt you.
I can.
I just thought it'd be.
So what's
I
going
just
on,
thought it'd
man?
be funny if I just did nothing and then you just asked me a question. No, nothing
Oh
much.
yeah.
Just
So
sitting at home.
you
Uh,
now you're in downtown Detroit, right?
right. I would be
How
out
far are
right
you from
now.
the train? How far are you from the train station?
I can walk there.
You
It's
know,
like a mile and a half.
a mile and a half. That's it.
Yeah. So it'd probably take me
Yeah,
40 minutes.
I picked you up at your house one
Yeah. Or
time.
else I'm 10 minutes from everything
Let me
car
turn up
ride.
my speaker. Hold on.
Can you hear me well?
Did you work out today?
Not
Yeah.
really.
Are you
I
fine?
went I went for a walk. I've been sick the last three
Are you still
days.
sick? I know. Would you have a flu?
I don't know what I had. I had something. Getting
So,
old.
well, this is
Getting old.
Big Shot Vince.
How's it going?
How old are you?
38 now.
How old are you? I
38.
know. I wanted them to know how old you were.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So now you've been on a journey. You had a weight loss journey. Hold on. Let me make this bigger.
Yeah.
Is that
Oh, there we
better?
go.
You were on a
Yeah.
weight loss journey. What did you weigh a couple years ago? And then take me on that really quick.
When I first started, I was like 300
Are you
pounds.
there?
I was 300 pounds.
You were 300 pounds.
Yeah.
How tall
So
are you?
5'8", 5'7", or something like that.
Okay, so you're 300 pounds. Okay, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
And you were kind of a wild child back then, right? A little
Right.
bit.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Yes.
say too much.
Well, still,
And you can,
there's
stop me if you know. Well, the
no.
reason I'm saying
Yeah.
is no, because it's a good story.
Can
It's a
you
good story. I'll just give you the highlights. Is that
you could see my shorts. I was the way the way it looked at the way I was looking
yeah?
at the camera
So
was weird.
you were 300 pounds before. Oh yeah, yeah.
That
I don't know. I
was
just kind of swirled for a second. Okay, so 300 pounds.
that was
Can you hear me?
6 or 7 years ago.
Okay, so what made you decide to lose all that weight? How much weight did you lose?
About 100 pounds originally, and I
Okay,
gained
100
about
pounds. That's a
20.
lot.
I gained a couple pounds back.
You gained.
So
Okay, and so now
I got back.
you're back into your.
I got back to. I was the lowest that I got to was
Mhm.
189, and you know once COVID,
Well, 300 to 189. It's great. That's great. I
once
mean,
COVID and everything, the gyms closed. It wasn't as easier as you can only do so much at your house working out wise.
oh, 100%. I agree with that. But the thing is, I remember when my son had passed, I knew people
Mhm.
that connected with me that had, and these were very attractive people, younger than me, like you think, God, they have no problems, right? And I say that
Right,
because it's like, people think, God, people that must have been calling me must have like really bad problems. I says, you don't know. I mean, they came in every shape and size, but it was funny because certain people that, and I won't say their names, but had reached out and talked to me a lot, and then I'm like, I didn't want to talk to anybody, but they talked to me, and I felt there's that part of me that kind of goes, okay, I got
no,
to help.
not you.
Yeah, and then because you weren't watching me right away, and I
Right,
saw you, and people were telling me about you and saying, this guy lost a lot of weight, and he's always eating, sharing his little diet secrets. You were cooking in your kitchen, and you worked out. You did this all yourself, without a trainer, without drugs, or without anything, right?
right,
Just you.
right.
So, okay, and
Well, I took supplements, but that's
right. But
that's
you didn't have
nothing,
surgery or anything.
nothing. Yeah, nothing
Yeah, you didn't have
major.
liposuction or anything like
Yeah.
that. You didn't
I was
go hide.
actually, I actually thought about doing that. Well, what was it, bypass or whatever it is? Not bypass, but what is that fucking
Oh
I
yeah, the
don't know.
gastro bypass where they sew part of your stomach up or something to
My
shrink it.
mom's like, my mom's like, no, you're not doing that. Yada yada yada. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
I
and
guess
and I know that people who've had it and everything you can think of, and it's
right,
temporary. And some
right,
people laugh, I guess, but like everything, you got to find a way
right,
to sustain it without after that, and that's the hard part, and that's where most people kind of fall off. But you kept going and you kept working out, and your training, like you didn't go into some like, you didn't hire a special trainer or coach, right?
no, I was doing after what COVID. I started doing high intensity workouts, but with my nerve pain now, I can't. That's another thing is I can't do as bet the workouts as much as I can. I used to do like 3 or 4 years ago for some reason.
Right, and
And that's
you've got a lot of. That's the other thing. You have reasons to not want to work out
right.
because it's painful. You have to have certain shots for your pain.
Right.
you know. So I mean, that's that's an inspiration in itself. And then you and I kind of connected, and we'll do this again later on the Misfits one. That we
Right.
kind of, but we haven't launched it. But I wanted people to see the story of why you're one of the reasons why. One of many reasons actually, but you're a good reason because you're not afraid of the camera, where a lot of people kind of are pretty shy about it. But
Mm-hmm.
you took it upon yourself for whatever reasons. I don't know if it was health or whatever, but you had a lot of different reasons why you decided that you wanted to lose that weight, and you succeeded doing it. And
Actually, the only reason why is because I was fucking getting fat, and nobody else was going to tell me I was big anymore. You
right,
know,
well, I'll tell you,
until nobody's gonna say, "Hey, you're fat." They'll
yeah,
talk shit behind your back and say you're fat. They'll give
yeah,
you a bunch of. Well, I always thought too, as I needed. My excuse was, oh, I need somebody to work out with, and
right,
that's not the case because you don't have this different. You have different, you don't weigh the same. So if you're going to
right,
work out with workout partner, it's not going to be the same results if you do it by yourself. You got to start by yourself first before you do
thousand,
anything.
1,000%. I don't work out with anybody. The only person that ever kept up with me, well, I had this buddy that was bigger than me, who I haven't talked to in a while. His name was Jack. Tina probably knows him if she's still on. And we were friends for a long time. And
Oh, I can look.
he, he
I
lived and
know.
breathed
Shoot.
it. And
I thought I could look at the chat, but I guess I can't.
you can't.
No, there's nobody talking.
Nobody's made any comments. Nobody's made any
No,
comments. So yeah, since you got on.
that sounds about
So
right.
yeah, no, that's right. No, that's cool. No, it's, listen, some people might see this later, and that's how
Right.
it works. Like, and I always think to myself, like, okay, we're done. That's it. And then I'll get comments an hour later. I'll get messages 3 days later. I'm like, what? So and I kind of got hooked on that for a long time. And then the last several months, as you know, I barely come on.
Well, I think I learned this from my parents and kind of you and others that I've been sick the last 3 days. Usually, I know back in the 5, 6, 7 years ago, I'd go right after being sick. I'd be out right now.
Oh yeah.
It's it's
And,
like I have one of those. I have to be out every 10 minutes, or else it's hard not being out. But you know,
oh yeah, I get it. I get
you
it.
got
I
to take
mean,
care of your health first, I guess.
yeah, and I think that like, for me, like, when I'm watching people, when I'm watching people on social media, I think that, you know, I only care, I think people think that maybe when I make these comments that you're supposed to be like this, bodybuilder or, ripped supermodel or something. No, no, just get into a safer spot. Get in, it's like when you pass a cop, and you're doing 675 and a 55, get down to 64.
Right. It's
And you're
not. You don't have to go to the exact limit. Just you want to make sure you're in the
right,
right
right, 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 right,
right
right.
right zone.
Well,
That's why
because
everybody's looking for their right zone, but they're just trying to go over the zone sometimes.
well, like you've got bad apnea, you were born with it, and apnea
Right.
can it hurts, it kills people. I mean, I've even had it, and
Right.
you know, so health contributes, that weight contributes to it,
Right.
and so those things.
Well,
But anyway,
I thought it would get better with losing this much weight, and it still hasn't. So it's like I don't know.
well, I think they're still experimenting with that concept.
All right.
But
Well,
I
that's with
guess
everything.
I mean, nobody knows. Nobody knows. I
Right.
mean, even this. So when people argue with you all day about it, but you know what? You look better. I know. I feel like I. The one thing I do know is I'm not as tired as I used to
Mm.
be, and I don't think it's a magic cure to everything,
Right.
but I think doing something positive helps. This I know for a fact. Doing something positive, even a little bit, is better than nothing at all,
Right.
right? And and look at, I mean, you did motivate and inspire people that I was talking to that were following me for a while, and and they disappeared after a year or two. But you know what? That's if you have people for 5 minutes in your life that you've helped out, it takes you 10 seconds or less to open a door for somebody, and they're
Right.
happy with their arms
And
full.
nobody does that anymore. I hold
Yeah,
the door open for people, and they're like, they just look at me like I'm a weirdo.
well, you can't please everybody. I
Right.
mean, but you know what? And they say the road to hell is paved with good intention.
Right.
Um, but that's all good. We've talked about a lot of stuff at length because you and I've talked for a long time. But you know what? I mean, you're a lot younger than me, and your job is to like get never be complacent and just keep pushing and trying to not only make yourself better,
Oh
even if
wow.
the odds are against it, but also helping other people out there. And some people will never pay you back or thank you. But then there's going to be a couple people that you'll be friends with. They go, man,
Right.
I like being around you because I like being better. I try harder because of you.
Mhm.
And that's the best gift or compliments you can get at, may not
Right.
make you money or make your bad luck go away or whatever. I'm
Right.
living
Because
proof.
you got to think there's celebrities out there that are fucking miserable. They have millions and millions and millions of dollars, and they just can't get one person to say that they're proud of them or they appreciate them, and they're dying inside.
You're
You
exactly
know.
right. You're exactly right. So I mean, you're a misfit. I'm a misfit. And there's people out there that, I think you get plagued with good and bad luck. Weird good luck.
Right.
It's really bad and really like why is this happening? But you know what? Every day, even when I have those moments, I'm like, okay, like why am I going on a gym? Why are you getting on your treadmill? Why are you going for that walk? You'll tell me, oh my God, I walked a mile, I walked 2 miles, I walked 3 miles. I don't feel like walking today. Right? Like
Right.
you asked me, did I go to the gym today? I passed two gyms. I passed Planet Fitness in Bloomfield and then went in Waterford. The only
See,
thing good
that's
thing,
why there's people should have no excuse why they can't go to the gym. There's literally one on every corner now, and
but
people have excuses about literally. Oh, I want to watch my TV show. Well, you can literally put your phone, take your phone, go outside, walk
I've never
a
seen.
mile, a mile, walk.
I've
You
never.
don't need. You can still do whatever you're doing inside. You can play a
No,
video game while you're walking. Take your
you know.
phone and walk.
Let me just say this: when I was younger and I went to these gyms, they most of them never had TVs. Not one TV,
No.
not one. They didn't have any Bluetooth. We didn't have any headphones or anything because it was hard to carry this Walkman with these wires coming down. People did, we used to have these little, iPods and things like that that came around, and we thought that was great. But now we just listen to our phone with the thing. But
Right.
there's so many things. I mean, my gyms didn't even have air conditioning.
Right.
They had fans, and it was just like now. Could you imagine? I mean, they make it so easy to enjoy going to the gym. It's crazy. But you know what? Most people I know, I would say, God, more than half, easily more than half, they and they don't partake in any of that. And I think, and I would bet, I'd be safe to bet that most of those people have bought at least one or two pieces of exercise equipment at one point that are in their house still,
And it
you know,
still hasn't been used.
never used. My mom, she bought I put this treadmill together. She bought like 2 or 3 years ago. And she goes, oh, Chris, and she drove me crazy about it. Can you put this together and this and that? So I finally put it together. She goes, it slides. Her biggest thing was it slides under the bed. And so I put it together. It's
Oh
still
yeah, so she can't use it again.
no, it's still up. And
Oh,
hey, Mom, I go, come here. I just need 15 minutes of your time. She didn't
right.
realize I was setting her up because I was going to get her to work out on the thing for 15 minutes. She looked at me, oh, I'm really busy. I go, doing what? And I said, nothing going
I
on.
thought I thought what you were gonna say was it's been underneath the bed the whole time. It hasn't been set
No,
up.
no, no. No, she hasn't even used it yet, so I can put it underneath there yet. That's why
Oh,
it's just as bad.
you,
And my
you're
dad
better
goes,
off you're just better off putting it underneath there for her because she's gonna
oh,
ask you anyway sooner or later soon. So
my dad shakes his head. He goes, she ain't never going to use that effing thing. I start laughing. I don't know.
you've been on for an hour and 5 minutes now.
Uh-huh.
Oh
I was
wow.
going to get off, but you came on. I don't think anybody's even watching. I think it's just me and
No.
you.
All right.
So, but that's why I said it for no good reason. I wrote a song years ago, after Dante called it For No Good Reason. and like Dante's Inferno, and it sounded like, and for no good reason, I'm going to do this, like there's no real purpose to it, and like that's why when I came on, I go, you know what, I don't care if nobody's on. I was going to come on for like 10, 15 minutes.
Well, I think
And
what happened was
Tina and
also
Keith,
too is
huh?
I think what happened also was I got the link too late and I told you too late.
No, it's all good. At the very least, we're beta testing this thing again.
Every second, every 2 minutes, your thing goes black for some
It hasn't
reason.
gone black over here. It's on your phone. Yeah,
That's
I know what you're
weird.
talking about.
No,
A little swirl. Yeah, it only did that one time with me, and that was when you first got on, but it hasn't done it since.
no, it just did it. Just again, I just saw it black.
Yes,
Yeah.
I still see you the whole time. That's
No,
good. I noticed
your
that.
your side though.
I'm looking at it on my phone right now. Oh, can you see it? Yeah. Oh, I got
That's
the screen on. Yeah.
that's weird. I can't. I don't know. All right. Well, I'm gonna get going then.
Okay. Yeah. No, we're still good. You can watch the playback.
Yeah.
So yeah. Just so, what, are you working out tomorrow? I like
Probably.
your haircut. You got your haircut.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No, beard trimmed.
Oh, okay. Well, that's your hair, isn't it? Something looks different.
I guess. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
I'll let you go.
all right, brother. Have a great night.
See you.
All right. Bye. And on that note, oh, here, I'll get ready. Hold on. All right. So anyway, well, this was my midsummer crisis. Midsummer crisis. That's kind of funny. That'd be a good one. Midsummer crisis. Then if you hear that, write that down. And yeah, just find a way to just keep, whatever, pushing hard and finding yourself healthy, because it'll make your life more productive and less painful in the end. Because I have a lot of older people that follow me too. And, I don't know why, but they do. And they send me messages. And if it's you, yeah, there's no magic anything. You gotta, if you go to the gym, you gotta eat right. If you eat right, you gotta go to this. You gotta do, it's little things. Here's a tip. Here's one last tip. And I don't care if there's a better trainer out there, nutritionist, anybody, right? The thing that scares people from working out, like you said, is excuses, right? Do something easy. And every trainer will hate me for this. It's a little magic trick. I don't care, unless you're really seriously in chronic pain, joint pain, hip pain, knee, whatever, back pain. Try to do something for 5 minutes every other day, just 5 minutes. And it may build and it may not. But as long as you do something, I would say 5 minutes a day, 3 to 4 times a week, and it may turn into 10 minutes. But even if you do something for 5 minutes, it will definitely add to your life, and it'll loosen up. It'll get the blood pumping. It won't let the bad cells stagnate. Drink a little bit of more water than normal, an extra cup here and there. You don't have to guzzle all. Just sip on it. Sip on it all day in your car, at night, in bed, next to your bedstand, whatever, nightstand. And take a multivitamin. Take something healthy. If you don't like that, eat something that has a lot of, like, not a lot of sugar, but a lot of, like, nutrients, like a salad, like with beets. And, if you don't want pills, use the real thing. But just 5 minutes, even if you've never worked out a day in your life at 30, 40, 50, 60 or higher, you can always change your life. My parents were young when they had me, and I had a lot of relatives that were thin, that were, very energetic and, and all that, but they all got some form of disease. My cousin just died of pancreatic cancer a couple months ago. She was only 50, I think. And a lot of them died in their 30s and 40s. And it's because of lack of nutrition, lack of working out. And you don't have to kill yourself. You don't have to go join, you don't have to go buy a whole wardrobe. You don't have to go in there. And if you don't know what you're doing, I'll help you. I'll show you. It's real easy stuff. Just walking up and down a couple stairs for 5 minutes, or just walking a normal path at a regular speed. Get off that chair, walk around your couch a couple times, just 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Breathe in, breathe out, drink some water, stretch out a little bit, hold on to the counter, just let your arms stretch and your legs stretch. That'll give you more mobility, less pain in your body. It works. You got to do it. If you do that 5 minutes a day, just a few, 3-4 days a week, I'm telling you, it will change you. If you take one multivitamin, if you eat one extra fruit, one less fat thing or sugar thing, you're not going to give up eating Snickers and Haagen-Dazs. You're not. You're not going to stop drinking, but drink one less drink. Drink water in between it. I'm not judging nobody. I'm just trying to help somebody. And I've had people tell me that thing. I don't care if nobody's watching right now. You know what? I have had people that reached out to me for a lot of reasons that I never thought would be possible. I don't owe anybody anything. I don't even know if I owe myself, but you know what? It's nice to help people. I was a firefighter. We were all volunteers. I wasn't the only one. There was 200 of us. And some of those guys, they give up their lives with their family. They give up their private time, their personal stuff, to go help people and put their life on the line. You don't have to do that, but you got to take care of yourself. And that's the key. And you're going to be nicer, and you're going to be happier, and you're going to be in less pain, and you're going to be able to get out of bed. I remember I was getting stiff about after my son died, about a year later, COVID, I was getting stiff. I thought I was going to have all kinds of problems. I go, here we go. Here we go. I'm about to hit 60 and I'm ready to die. And I had every reason to feel like, who cares? But you know what? I started doing all these little things. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I'm telling you, 5 minutes, not one and two hands. And you may do it for 10. You have to do it for 15. But just always keep doing something positive. That goes to the way you think too. I think negative all the time, but then I write a song, and it might be the silliest, goofiest song, but you know what? I look at it and I go, this is going to help somebody, feel better, work out, get married, have kids, try harder at their job, not give up. And, and if I chase a lot of people away, it's funny. A lot of those people periodically come back. Oh man, I didn't know what you were talking about then, but now I do. And the only thing I can say that makes me different than the people that get paid to do it or trained to do it is that I'm a living example. I know what you feel like. I know you feel like shit. I know you feel like this. I know you feel like that. I don't know why, but I hope that helps you, because there's a lot of people I know that would never do this, and they don't have to. They're not designed for it. And they probably would inspire somebody more because they've got a better life than me. But it's not about that. It's making what you have better, even this much. And that much is better than what you had yesterday or, the day before. Does that make sense? I know it does. Because when you let it sink in later, what was he talking about? What did he say? What was that one thing? God. Oh, wait, he's not a rich millionaire. Oh, wait, he's not perfect looking. Oh, my God, he's got this. He's got that. He's got that. And so he knows how I feel. He went through it, or he's going through it. Okay. It's like we're all sinking on that ship together. We're going to try to get off, and we get hurt on the way there, and some of us aren't going to make it off that boat, but we keep trying. And that's all I got to say. And you know what? It's Friday night. Go have a good time. Get up Saturday. Get your chores done. Get on that boat. Go sit outside. Do whatever it takes. But give yourself 5 extra minutes to do that one thing that makes your life better. And if you don't like it, then send me a complaint. I'll give you your money back. Have a great night. And I guess that's it. All right. Let me see here. Setting off for some tunes, I think. All right. Have a great night.